every now and then I find
So, welcome to Notts and Bolts and top of the top, top of the cop podcast. Get it wrong every week, tongue tied. You need a shorter name. What else was I going to say? An hour
I need
earlier
a short
this
one.
evening. An hour earlier than usual. Good evening, Ara.
Good evening, Mark. I will see about changing my name in the future, but so far
Yeah,
it's going to stay as it is.
yeah, it's a bit of a tongue twister, isn't it? You know what I mean? When you tried to talk a bit fast, shall we talk about the Leicester game then? What did you reckon of it?
Well,
Easy
I think it's
official.
pretty much the same. It's pretty much the same game as against Burton, not Burton, Burnley from what we saw. Good start. I mean, with lots of chances in that first half. If we would have took them, I think we should have deserved all 3 points. But at the end of the day, you can't do anything about it now. I think it's a good point. Maybe a good point to have by the time the end of the season comes around. So I guess we got to take it, haven't we?
Yeah, but don't you feel a bit disappointed that we didn't, with a bit more like quality? And don't you think we could have won that game?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's crazy to think before it, we think was Leicester fans think we're going to batter us, but now after it, I kind of feel disappointed. I mean, if we would have took chances, who knows how many goals we got? I mean, second half, Carl Roberts, he should have scored a goal easily. So, but
See,
yeah, I do feel a bit disappointed.
right, I'll rephrase that, right? Not quality, but better decision making, like the Cerula shot.
Mm.
Added some other times where there's a pass and I could have played somebody in. You know what I mean? I think, I mean, a lot of the Leicester fans are like, oh, you was poor and everything else. But we wasn't. When you look at like the stats, we had more tackle shots, we had more touches in their box. Had I know you don't get note in the game for stats, but like big chances missed. We missed 5 big chances. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the one thing we've learnt more this season, I think, is we're going to be really tough to like beat. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because of the way way Patterson's got us set up, we're going to be really tough to beat. But are we going to struggle scoring? That's another thing.
Yeah. I mean, we was both talking about that, weren't we? I mean, I don't think conceding goals that's not going to be a problem. I think we'll be solid in that department, but scoring them, we might score a fewer goals than we did last year, but we'll have to wait and see.
And see, if you keep it tight at the back and tight in the midfield, and Cooper he was really good. Ness was
Yep.
good. Roberts was good. The whole team, they worked the socks off. It's just if we can get Aqua, like if his drought
Like his
stops,
goal.
floodgates might
Yeah.
open with his goal. So you can't really say, Harry, your microphone is playing up.
Is it?
It's a bit crackly.
No, I might with my headphones.
So when you look at, was it Lipshaw who had the Lipshaw, who had the shot, had the chance as it came across him in front of the cop, and he did
Yeah.
like this scissor motion. I mean, I don't know. I'm struggling to find like where we're going to get all our goals from.
I mean, we had that good chance early on in that first half where I think it was Carl Roberts that just shot it over the bar. And then I think we had another one where who was it that closed the goalkeeper down? Was it Cooper? I think it
Yeah,
was.
Cooper. I mean, on any other day, that goes in the back of the it goes in the
Yeah.
top of the net, doesn't it? It really does. And it was like just a little bit more, and it goes in, and we're 1-0 up at half time.
Yeah.
And would that have changed the second half? I mean, the intensity of the game from Notts, first 10 minutes, we blew them away.
Yeah.
Later
I think
on. Our
momentum.
rates never dropped when we went 1-0 down either.
I think the momentum kind of changed a bit when that Leicester player went down.
Mr. Shaw says you might need to turn your headphones on and off, back on. The White Harry does that, the now finger. We'll look at the referee. It's B Speeder. Last season, he had 42 games, 125 yellow cards, and 6 reds. And he refereed Notts 3 times last season. At Cheltenham, when we was live on Sky, Notts won 2-1. Chesterfield, where we lost 2-0. That was a case of the ruse. And then, Cambridge, where we lost 4-0.
Does it sound better?
It's still a bit finger. A crack, like it's got like a crackle to it.
I don't know what it is. Let me see. I'm not sure.
What was going to say? Let's have a look at player stats. So the 4 Notts players with the highest stats. Nestle had the highest from Notts at 7.9. You had Campbell with a 7.1. Cooper, which I thought he was really good, played really well. 7.3.
Is that better?
And Roberts, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. 7.3 with Roberts. Which sort of shocked me. We like Belshaw was rating. I thought Badu played well. I thought Lipsup played well. I think the whole team, even Cerula played well. I don't understand the 6.5 rating on that. Especially when it was his ball over. Yeah.
Yeah. I hope that sounds better to you, Mr. Shaw.
So you going to Luton at the weekend? It's what? We're sold out. 1,400 Notts fans are going to be in the away end in Kenilworth Road.
Yep.
Haven't been there for some time. How do you think this one's going to play out? Obviously, Luton came from 3 goals behind to win, or 3-1 behind to win 4-3, didn't they? And everyone's seen Jack Wilshere's half-time interview.
Oh, yeah. I just think if we play like how we did in the last 2 games, I think we'll be fine. Honestly,
Mr. Shaw with a Doom Merchant. 3-1 Luton.
Mr. Shaw, maybe you focus about how your team's in the bottom 4 already. How about that one? How about you worry about that?
What else was I going to say? The Jody Jones situation really needs sorting out. One way or another, it really needs. Either he's staying or he's going.
Or he's going.
Yeah. Because it just seems like it's overshadowing at the minute.
Yeah, it's taking. I mean, the day by day it goes on, it's like you question whether he's still a Notts player. I mean, apparently people are getting his name on the back of his shirt, so that's what I'm hearing, but who knows?
Yeah, and I just think there's a different side to the fan base. The fan base want him to stay and hope he stays. You got the other side of the fan base what says, thanks a lot. No player's bigger than the club. Move on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you get you've got the difference. It's dragging on now. It is.
Yeah, it is.
It's dragging on. I don't think it does either side any good. Do you know what I mean?
No.
Because it's in no man's land, and the more that's in no man's land, there's this vacuum of non-information.
Yeah, information. Yeah.
And then anytime anything's posted about the situation, you've got 2 sides going. One thing's being said by one side, one thing's been said by another side. I mean, Jody hasn't said it.
No.
If he's not fit enough to play, would he even pass the fitness test? Exactly. But then you question, well, is that just PR when you say like, oh, he's injured? You know what I mean? Allegedly
Well,
or whatever. You know what I mean? So there's two sides because like
yeah.
you'll get a player who's leaving, who's not in the squad, and they'll say, oh, they're being rested or they're injured. Who knows? And do you
Well,
know what I mean?
apparently I've heard or seen somewhere that apparently he had his medical at Bromley on Monday. And that's what I've seen. But whether that's true or not, who knows?
I watched a documentary on medicals, right? And they were saying there's no way any player fails a medical unless it's really, really serious. You know what I mean? There's no way they
Yeah,
fail a medical. So usually it's non-medical related. It's either to do with their contracts or some terms or something, or they just don't
yeah,
fancy it after that.
yeah,
So, but with the thing with Jody, and I don't get if you look at it, he's only 28, which is young in football terms nowadays, where you've got players that are still playing on into the 40s, and
yeah.
our supporters write a player off so quick.
I know.
You know what I mean? You got what Harry played at Wembley, and you can't. You look at his history with Carl Robinson. You can't say none of that was extra driven on by proving him wrong on that day.
Yeah, yes. I think that's probably was the only thing on his mind to prove that he still has it and he's a good player. I'm not bad at Callum.
So then you think, well, if not Jody does leave, will somehow it come back to bite us further down the line?
Well, yeah, because you normally have that thing where if a player goes, they normally score against you, don't they? So
Yeah, I mean, if Jody does go to Bromley, that'd be a good pickup for them. I think Notts are better with Jody in the team. Depth in your squad is always a good thing. But then you got
yeah,
the McGoldrick figure as well, because obviously we're going to face Mansfield twice this season. If McGoldrick's fit, you're going to think he's going to play some part in that game.
mm,
And is that another one what's going to come back and bite us?
yeah,
But that's looking ahead. But I do like in both games we've looked just as fit, or if not fitter than I think we look fitter than the Leicester players, to be honest.
yeah,
Because what's his name? Is it Ray? Where he leaped over Belshaw and then I think it was it Evans? Not Evans, Gibbons who cleared it off the ball from going in the second half. I think Harry's frozen. I think he's frozen. Apparently, we're interested in the bloke from Longhello. I like Longhello. I think he's a decent player. I think when we played him in the league both times, he was really good. I was thinking, he took a shot, didn't he? When Belshaw had to save it with his his hand in the Easter Day fixture. You're doing a good view where we're going. Why does that shot do that? Harry should come back in a minute. I think he's just having problems. Even in market error, I'm confused. There's two podcasts on the go. Harry does it on his channel as well as I do it on mine. We've always done it that way. But I think there's another one. We changed our time because somebody else was going live later, so we changed that. I do believe. What does everybody think the score's going to be on Saturday? I think it's going to be a tight game, personally. I don't think it's going to be high scoring. I think it'd be like 1-0, or it could be another draw. I'd take another draw. 2 draws out the opening, 1-1. I'd take another point out of that game because the way Luton came back last Saturday was really, really good. We still need another striker. We do still need another striker. But this is what I said earlier, JJ Aviation. Have we got enough in quality in the current squad? Because you think about the owner's statement last Friday, I'll take a draw for the tie bib. If you think about their statement, it was a bit like last year's statement towards the end of the transfer window, which was basically saying, well, we're done really. That's it. That's all our business done. And like Smythe on Saturday, I thought he played well. Other people don't think he played that well. He closes the ball down, he runs, he wins the ball back. He had a shot. I think that just went over the bar in the first half. So I do like that, but I think they need goals. They need to get goals. But I do think Bex Ray this season will be playing. Am I going to Luton? Yeah. I do think Bex Ray, when he's fitter, he'll be back in the squad, and that will give you some pace. We need somebody proven to replace Jar. I tend to agree. Welcome back, Harry.
Sorry about that. My phone just overheated for some reason.
I mean, Jatta's team aren't having a very good time, are they? They got thrashed by Benfica the other night. I watched that. And Jatta looked quite happy sitting on that bench. Oh, 7-0. Yeah, he looked quite happy going down before the game, sitting on the bench. They're smiling. But we do need somebody to replace Jatta. But who is there? I mean, there's a Blackpool player. I forgot his name. That Blackpool want to offload.
Well, yeah, I saw that.
But it depends what the price tag is, isn't it? We're not going to go out and spend. Personally, I don't think we're going to go out and spend $500,000 on a striker. And then you got the wages side of it. Yeah, then you got the wages side of it as well. So that's the other aspect of that, where the wages are. I don't know. My lad said something funny to me today. He was like, we're making Bromley look like they're more ambitious. Raid the National League. There's some decent players down there. He says we're making clubs like Bromley. No disrespect to Bromley. We're making them look like more ambitious club than we are.
Well, yeah.
And that's not my opinion. I'm just repeating what he said to me. But I think sometimes, I don't know, you've got to be ambitious. Like we've got Ryan on as well. Let's welcome in, Ryan.
Hello,
good evening,
mate.
Ryan.
Right.
Yeah, not bad. How you doing?
You can see me all right, can you?
Yeah, I can see you all right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I can only just see one bloke. I might have to jump on my laptop to do this. 2 seconds. Let me rejoin. I'll just jump on my laptop, all right?
All right.
All right, no problem.
So, Ari, what do you think the score's going to be this weekend?
Well, I said on another Luton podcast we're going to win 2-1. So I think I'm going to stick with it.
I could see us winning 2-1. I could see us winning 2-1. Who's going to score, though? I'd say if Roberts.
You know what? If I have a feeling Grant's going to get another one. And maybe Aqua. I think Aqua's going to finally get his goal this time around.
What about Aqua and Maz? Maz diving header.
He didn't play on Saturday, did he? That Saturday, he wasn't on the bench either, was he? I don't think.
No, I don't think he was.
Whether he's, I'm guessing he's fit. I'm guessing it was a tactical reason, but who knows? But no, I think obviously kind of scoring on last Saturday. I think You'll get another one of that cloth, possibly finding a way to go.
Good evening, Ryan.
Hello, mate. Sorry about that. I can see you all
No
now,
worries.
so that's a load better.
So we'll ask you first. Harry wants to ask you a question anyway. First,
Go on, mate. Go ahead.
Well, no, I've been seeing you asking people about what they're doing, so I want to ask you what yours is.
Sorry, mate.
your microphone again, Harry. It's gone bad again.
What's your favourite meal deal?
My favourite meal deal. Yeah, this is a question I ask of mine. Mine is chicken and stuffing sandwich. It's got to be barbecue hula hoop crisps and either a Dr. Pepper Zero or an Iron Brew.
I'll tell you what mine is: chicken
Nice.
salad. Then
just on its own, or
the chicken salad thingy one, and then probably have like a bag of crisp and a drink. That's it. That's my meal deal.
Nice, good choice. What about you, Harry?
Oh yeah, I thought I was the same mine. Probably have to say if it's chicken and bacon sandwich. There's steak. Is it McCoy's? Chris?
Yeah.
And for drink, it's got to be Pepsi Cherry, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, not bad choices. Not bad choices.
So, you're looking forward to playing Notts on Saturday early kickoff? Do you like early kickoffs as well?
Yeah, well, this is a second one in. Well, yeah, for both of us, second in a row now.
It is, yeah.
Yes, I think playing a newly promoted side early on can go either way. I think it can work in our favour or go against us. I think obviously you'll still be on a high from getting promoted via the playoffs at Wembley. So as we saw last week, you got a very good point against Leicester. But I am looking forward to it. I'm quietly confident that we will pick up the 3 points on Saturday.
But and listening to some other Luton fans, now last year you play really well, have a win, and then the next game you'd be a total opposite team.
Yeah.
Are you worried that's going to continue this season?
No. The reason why, and I think it's certainly different this season. At the start of last season, we had Matt Bloomfield, didn't work, and then we got Jack Wilshere in, and it took some time for us to understand the ideology of Jack Wilshere, how he wants to play, also the players that he wants. We went 12 unbeaten, including all cup competitions, back end of last season, unbeaten. So we're now 12 unbeaten in the league. Obviously, we started poorly against Reading, but turned it around. So I don't feel that will be the case. There's a different atmosphere around the club, the players. So I don't feel that will be the case, especially first home game of the season as well. I think full house from both us and you. I think you've sold out away, haven't you?
Yes, yeah.
It'll be a buzzing atmosphere, so I think that will drive us on to do well, especially being first game of the season.
So as well, Notts play. They've got hard work inside, and so you've got a lot of hard workers. As you see, I don't know if you've seen any of the game against Leicester. We gave it them like the first 10 minutes, and then probably did a bit of a reset and everything. How are you going to cope with a side with like the press like Notts County have got, who aren't going to probably counter attack you all the time? So I think in the Reading game, you got it on the counter attack.
Yeah, so we struggle with counter attacking teams. If I'm being honest, we struggle with that, and I don't know again how much you watched of the highlights of our game, but first half we had a lot of the ball. They counter attacked and we struggled. So with you being high pressing, that could, for me, I think that would work in our favour because it will leave gaps. And some of the quality that we have with Liam Walsh, Casey Palmer, Jordan Clark, Jake Richards, it's going to leave gaps, and I think we'll exploit those gaps. Obviously, I think you'll probably set up a little bit differently how you did against Leicester because you're away from home. But I think you not being a counter-attacking team will work more in our favour, personally.
I think I was listening to a lot of your other podcasts, and not yours, but other podcasts. What have been put out, and very much with like the Leicester supporters, it's like, well, it's almost a given that you're going to win. And I think there was one comment on one of the videos saying, like, I think from a Luton fan saying, I think it's going to be a bit tougher than we think it's going to be against Notts, and he weren't quite so confident.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree. I think it is going to be a tough game. As I said when I first joined, you're still on a high from promotion last season, Wembley, and then getting such a massive point against Leicester last week. So I don't think it's going to be easy. And I had Ian Kirk on my show yesterday, and my prediction was either 2-0 or it's going to be 1-1. So we win 2-0 or it's going to be 1-1. I think you will frustrate us. You will come and frustrate us. And I think people will look at it from an outside perspective, think, oh, it's going to be a typical easy Luton win, which I don't think it will be. And I think you will make it hard. You will frustrate us. And the longer the game goes on, I think what will benefit us is if we score early.
Yeah.
If we score within the first 15, 20 minutes or so, that will calm the nerves down. And then you can hear it around Kenilworth Road. If we don't score early, it starts getting a bit eerie, a bit nervy, and then that will work in your favour.
I mean, to me, I said it's either going to be a tight game, like probably 1 goal, or it's going to be a draw. I can't see it being like a nice scoring game. Not the way we've set up this season coming back. We played Burnley, got a 1-1 draw there. Played Leicester, got a 1-1 draw there. We came from behind. We're in a game where we probably should have won it.
Yeah,
even injured.
Yeah, I think it's one of those where I think because you lost Jatta. I think you've obviously lost Jaden Luca as well, who's come back to us on loan. I think people sort of look at it from that perspective of losing you probably 2 of your best players and think, well, actually, you're going to struggle. And I think that was sort of put to rights almost on Saturday against Leicester.
Yeah.
I think you were unlucky to not get the 3 points against Leicester. And I think playing Leicester first game of the season, I said this yesterday, was probably the right time to play them because it's going to be a transitional season for them. And you sort of deserved your point. And as I just said, you were really unlucky not to get the 3 points.
Yeah, it's like a lot of Notts fans are saying, well, where are the goals coming from? Where's that quality up front? Which you've just like emphasised. So you think last season we had Dennis 15 goals?
Yeah.
15, 16 goals. We had Jatta with his goals. Then we had Iapenda, which was a workhorse in the thing. Obviously, we had Jaden Luca from you as well. So there's 4 players who played. Jaden Luca came back to you because he got injured, then came back.
Yeah.
Scored in the playoff semi-final against Chesterfield. And now he's gone back to you and he got injured was it pre-season he got injured?
It was in the Carabao Cup against Gillingham. Which is a shame because I think with him, Jack Wilshere come out and said he was going to play a big part of this season. Obviously, I think he's going to be out for a few weeks. So hopefully we'll have him back by September, maybe middle of September. But he does look a very good player and quality player.
But it is going to be a real test. I've got you and Sheffield Wednesday going on. I've got Notts in the playoffs because, I don't know, maybe a bit over ambitious with that.
I think... No, go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead, mate.
I do the sort of thing. There is enough in that side if we can get people scoring. If it ain't the front men, other people scoring as well.
Yeah, no, I think under, obviously, when you got Martin Patterson, I think it was a bit of a shock appointment and it didn't start poorly. Yeah. And one thing about you is defensively you are good and you're structured. And I think the thing with League One and League Two, I don't think there's too dissimilar. It's too dissimilar in levels. I think obviously you look at the higher end of League Two, they could potentially easily manage in League One. And you have to look at Bradford last season, how they got promoted, I think, top 3, and then getting in the playoffs. So it is doable. I think everyone is probably a little bit naively saying that you'll go down. I've seen a lot of predictions, including myself. I've said that I believe you and Cambridge will go down. And I'm happy to eat humble pie and hold my hands up and be like, well, actually, I was wrong. I'm happy to do that. And when I'm normally wrong a lot, so I'll be happy to hold my hands up. But I think, again, with League One this year, I think how tight and congested it is, I think there'll be a few surprises. So for you to say you think you'll get playoffs, could it be a little bit of an overstretch? Possibly. But football's football. Anything can happen. Like, no one expected Lincoln to get promoted and win the league last year.
Yeah. Go back to last season. I think it was all Notts fans. All Notts fans was like, there was a complete meltdown.
Yeah.
And that was like, when he was announced. And then me and Harry went to, was it Burton against Alperton earlier this season, in pre-season. And the Burton fans, the sort of dislike for Patterson and his way of football was unreal. And I think what's drove him on is like the determination. You look at our promotion video, and it's got all the clips from all the people who wrote us off last season.
Yeah.
And it's sort of like, well, you all wrote us off, and it's drove us on. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that works in your favour though as well. I think us and yourself are quite similar in the size of clubs, and we've been non-league, League Two, League One, etc., etc. And being the underdog can certainly work in a club like ours' favour, because no one expects you to do anything. You go sort of under the radar, and people don't. Especially look at Stevenage last year, getting to the playoffs, beating us and Plymouth, Huddersfield, teams like that to the playoffs. So it's not out. I wouldn't say it's out the question.
I think what does us in is this data model and how that data model is run.
Yeah.
So you look at like the recruitment side of it. You compare, say, like the Notts recruitment to the Luton recruitment, and you can see what obviously he's a decent player. He's a decent player, and our recruitment goes more, say, probably on value and what they add or the stat, what part of their game they're good at, and what that adds to the rest of the team. So it's hard as a Notts fan as well to work out why we're buying this player, or why are we buying that player, or why we decided this player. So I think as Notts fans now, we just got to trust the process.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I think with the start you had last season, I don't think anyone would have predicted come the end of the season you would have probably won the playoffs and won the playoff final so comfortably as well. Because I watched that game and it was far too easy for you. I think it was a lot of pressure on Salford with obviously the 92 and all the cameras and everything.
Yeah.
And again, similarly to that day, everyone was probably expecting Salford to walk all over you and win comfortably.
Yeah, right. So the teams we beat in the playoffs was the teams what had beat us twice in the
league. Yeah.
I mean, being at Salford on Good Friday, to be no goals in 90 minutes, you go into 5 minutes added on time and there's 3 goals, and walking away from that game, Harry lost his head completely. He was totally gone. You know what I mean? His head was gone. And to do what we did against, let's say, like Chesterfield and Salford, it was showing the team and strength in Martin Patterson.
Yeah.
And I don't think any team this season are going to have an easy ride against Notts. It's not. We may not be the highest scorers, but I don't think the team's going to have an easy ride.
Yeah, I think obviously it's one game in, and I think people need to not sort of overreact. We're one game in. Obviously, it's as I've said, was a massive result for you on Saturday, and I do think you're going to frustrate teams, especially away from home and at home. And I think with predictions, it's so difficult because everyone's got to do it, but it's so hard. And I think people that don't really know a lot about Notts County, etc., will, just because they've come up via the playoffs, will put them to go down. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like I don't know, you've got your rivals, we've got ours. And a lot of predictions are based whether on like what your local rival is or what a team's done in the year before to your team, and they're very subjective.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think only Notts County fans will know the inside and the outside of the club, your players, etc. So yes, okay, predictions is a minefield. No one's going to get every single one right. So I would happily have you stay up. I think Notts County are a decent club, and I wanted them to come up via the playoffs, not just because Nottingham's a decent night out and decent for a few beers prior to the game and after, but out of the 4 teams, so it was you, Chesterfield, Salford, and
Grimsby.
Yeah, I think out of the 4 of those, Nottingham was the better choice. But obviously, with you, you've got a huge history, so to have you back in League One as well, I think you probably are a League One club with your history and everything, I would say.
Yeah. Mark and Harry, ain't you worried about some clubs later on in the season come sniffing for power? Yeah, but then there's the other side, the way our recruitment model is and our wage structures and everything. You have a player, say you've got 4 players now who play all the way really, really well until January. If somebody comes sniffing in January, the heads get turned easy.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Is if you're gonna have like a very stringent wage structure and you're not gonna break it, then as soon as somebody comes sniffing for one of your players or coming around, the heads get turned a hell of a lot easier than if you're gonna like put the finance in and say no, we'll give you a better contract. Say like Gibbs White at Forest, when Tottenham came sniffing, he ended up signing a new contract, probably double the amount he was on before.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree. I think that's probably a good point. I think if it wouldn't surprise me if he went to Leicester, for example, if Leicester start really poorly, and I think there's going to be a lot of pressure under Russell Martin, because of the double relegation, and I think Russell Martin is just one-dimensional and stubborn. So it wouldn't surprise me if he was to go somewhere like that, where there's a lot of money and they think, you know what, we'll try and take him from Notts County. And I think that would be massive for you if you were to lose your manager.
And then that created another debate is if Pato ever did go,
who are going to bring in?
What manager's going to come in? Because it's not going to be like the bookies' favourites. It's going to be somebody who's probably had the 6 months, or it's a one out of the National League, just pondering around.
But then again, that will also probably depend on where you are in the league as well.
Yeah,
I think if you were to say, we get to say November and you're probably about 12th, for example, then you could potentially attract more of a higher named manager, if that makes sense.
Yeah, but on the other hand, like you struggle to attract a certain head coach or certain managers because of the way, like with the technical board and how the recruitment's done and everything else, you know what I mean? So that's also like you're not going to get like say a Steve Evans or another well-known manager like a Carl Robinson to come in because that control what's taken away from him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I agree, because I think Ian was saying yesterday that the manager doesn't really have a lot of say in your signings. It's all data-driven.
No,
it's not. So that, again, for a manager that, say, for example, you were to lose him, for a manager to come in, it's going to be difficult not to have a real say in who you bring into the club.
Maynard back. I can't see Maynard coming back. I can't see Luke Williams coming back,
No.
even though they'd be good. I think once managers have gone somewhere else and they've had a head coach, because their head
They're
coach isn't
settled.
Notts, they've gone
Yeah.
elsewhere and they've had different controls and different things. Then it's hard to go back, and sometimes going back ain't always the right answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then again, I think you look at it. You have to potentially look at it from the other perspective. I think with Luke Williams, he knows the club, knows the ownership, and I think again there's going to be pressure on him at Peterborough because there always is. They want to go up or try and get playoffs this season, which I don't think they will. But
No.
he could be another one that could, if Patterson was to leave, I think that would be probably a solid choice for you.
I mean, when we came up from the National League and Williams did leave, Maynard came in just after Christmas, or just after New Year, weren't it?
Yes, I think it was January at some point.
Because
Yeah.
I think when Maynard came in, we were 6th, and we slipped down at the end of the season. We slipped down to 14th.
Right. Yeah.
If I remember that right. So, a change in a manager, if he was like nearer towards the playoffs and then Patterson went off somewhere else, and then you've got another manager, you can have that dip again or whatever. Who knows? Patterson's still not County manager at the minute. Hopefully, he don't go nowhere.
Yeah, with one
his
game in
height.
as well, so there's not too much. I don't think there's too much worry about it.
On the thing is what John says. I'll just put it back up again. Although we made an excellent start, the team is still a work in progress. It will come good. Exactly. We was a work in progress last year. What did we have in through last year? Was it 9 or 10 new players? This year, I think we're
so.
about 12 or 13.
12. Yeah.
So that's virtually a full side, a full starting 11. And you've still got players to go out. You've got like Roos to go out if he's going out.
Yeah.
Because he's still at the club. He posted an Instagram story, went outside David Lloyd's. Something about brick by brick.
Yeah. From what I saw, yeah.
So who are your best 3 players we've got to look out for?
Casey Palmer, Jake Richards, and Jordan Clark, I would say.
Interesting. Who would you say as Carl Roberts?
Ollie Cooper.
Ollie Cooper, and you name the last one.
You could say Jack Evans as well.
Yeah, Jack Evans.
Yeah, so where are your biggest threats going to come from on Saturday? Because obviously you're a high press team. Apart from that, obviously potentially make us make mistakes. But what
and now we're going to come down the wings. So you've
Yeah.
got like Cerullo, you're going to have Cerullo on one side. Probably you've got Lupsic on the other side. Depending
Yes.
whoever starts, you might have Smite. Obviously, he's the lad who came from Finland. Up front. Might have Aqua. Or you could switch it again.
You could have both.
You could have Unlove, or you could have both.
Yeah.
So that's a difficult, but you're going to probably have Carl Robinson sitting behind him.
In that number 10.
But then you've got Jack Evans as well in midfield. We don't even know what the midfield's going to be.
Yeah,
so it's going to be pretty tough.
Yeah, I think it will be good to see how you do set up. Obviously you will know more than me, but I think you will probably set up slightly different to how you did against Leicester, because I think it's away from home. And naturally, every team does set up differently. So I think you'll probably be more defensively minded. It's just whether you then go to a low block, which it doesn't seem like you will, because that's also what we seem to struggle breaking down. Is if you go into a low block, we struggle to break that down. So that hopefully that's not the case. And I think, as I said earlier, if you are high pressing, that I think that will work into our favour.
But in the second, Patterson said at the beginning, was it Warsaw where he says, no, it was
I
after
think so.
Burnley, weren't it? Where he says,
Burnley,
be more playoff like. As if you watched both of the Chesterfield games, in the
hard to beat.
Yeah, we went forward when we went forward, but we was compact and we stayed in our shape. So whether you say we play in the second leg we played a low block and we just restricted them to a few chances, which the chances they had they didn't get to take.
Yeah, I think with ourselves, we have a lot of quality in that team. I think Casey Palmer, I think, is far too good for this league. Personally,
Yeah.
I think he had offers from the Championship, but because he was on loan with us last year, he wanted to stay. I think the main thing is whether you'll be able to just keep him quiet, because if you keep him quiet, that'll be tough going.
Yeah,
And also, I think Jake Richards as well. I think he's really, really creative out on the right and sort of drifts into the middle. So I think it's going to be tough. It will be tough for you Saturday. I suppose you both are going, are you?
yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. It will. I think it will be tough for you. But again, I think it's just about frustrating us, and I think there's a lot of goals in our team. So, as I said, the longer you keep it at 0-0, or if you manage to get an early goal and go 1-0 up, it'll be even more frustrating for us, I think.
I think this season we got better from defending from corners. I know it's only a
Yeah.
small sample of the 2 games I've seen, but we do. I think we have our vulnerability, same as last season, from shots from outside the box.
Mm.
I do think that's like a weakness. Leicester scored from outside the box at the weekend.
Yes.
Personally, I think the brothers' approach is sensible. I think where we came from when they took over as businessmen, they do not overstep their financial constraints. There's some people who'll see that as, I don't know, whether you agree with it or not. I think football is one of them ones where you're always going to lose money unless you've got like a team in the Premier League. Other than, are you still making profit there?
Yeah, I think the thing with football club, like you said, it's always going to be losing money. There's always things that you've got to pay for, wages, etc., etc. And now, what is making it harder as well is they dropped what you can spend. So from what you earn, you can only spend 50% of it, which now includes managers' salaries as well.
Yeah, so in League 2, it's 60%. You only can spend 60, and then in League 1, you can spend 50%. But you've been all the way from the Premier League all the way down to the National League, and then you work way back up.
Yeah, so I think 12, maybe 13 years ago, we were in non-league, and then it took us 10 years to get to the Premier League, and then we're now in League 1. It's interesting being a Luton fan. It's exciting and not, because we never seem to have a boring season, really. It's either fighting relegation or in the previous few years, bar the 2 relegations, promotion or trying to aim for promotion.
But don't you think like the Premier League is a promised land? And I always feel like I can remember when Notts was in the old First Division. Remember when Kenilworth Road had the artificial pitch?
Yeah. Premier League. It's the good thing. The good thing about the Premier League is, especially going up via the playoffs, is just winning the playoffs. Once you're in the Premier League, you get in. You're losing every week. So yes, okay, you get to see Haaland, Man United, Man City, Arsenal, etc., etc. But it's not fun losing every week.
No.
And that's the thing, isn't it? JJ, I should ask you your thoughts on the Luton board and what are your expectations?
My expectations is I want us to get automatic promotion, personally. I think Jack Wilshere and the board have been quite coy in what they are expecting. Jack Wilshere's come out and said that he wants to just improve on last season. So if we improve on last season, it means potentially playoffs. But I think realistically, we should be aiming for one of the top 2 spots, I believe.
I mean, also as well, you got the new ground development going on. I keep seeing TikToks, like where the extra things are being done, and which is exciting. Where do you think Luton's a top place that you think that you'd be happy with them staying, whether it's like the Championship, or do you want them to be in the Premier League?
See, I think this is a very good question, and obviously it will be good to get your opinion on it. People seem to forget that history counts and forget clubs sort of have history prior to 20 years ago. Because I personally think that we are a Championship sized club.
Yeah.
People will look at Kenilworth Road and be like, well, actually, you only hold 12,000 seaters. That doesn't, because you've got 12,000 seater stadium, doesn't determine the size of your club. We won the League Cup. We been in the top division. We got to an FA Cup final. So I personally think, and with the new ground as well, I think we are a Championship sized club. Obviously, I would like it to be at that point where we're fighting to get into the Premier League. I think the only way we would become a sustainable Premier League club is if we were to get taken over.
And you talk about attendance. I remember when Notts was in the old First Division, which it was before the Premier League, because we got relegated from the First Division to the First Division when the Premier League came in.
Yeah.
So you wait, and you go back and look at the attendances, and they weren't that high for the top division.
No.
Attendances only seem to, like, unless you're one of the bigger clubs, have got really, really better since the Premier League's years and years after.
Yeah, I think people judge a lot of clubs on attendances, and I think and people forget there's more to it than just the fans that turn up. There's obviously what you've previously done. I get comments all the time stating that we're a League Two team, and I think people that say that are just naive to our history and what we've been through. And because we've had 1 year in the Premier League, obviously, which started back in '92, I think it was, from Division 1. But yeah, I think a lot of people do. Yeah, well, that guy that's just said it exactly. You've got Bournemouth in the Premier League, who are now in Europe this season, they are in Europa League. And I think the size of a stadium and the size of a club shouldn't determine where you should be.
But a lot in the Premier League will say, like, you look at Bournemouth, 11,000, and they'll say, well, how can it? Well, you look at Luton, you look at Notts, and you think, right, if they could be sustainable and are sustainable in the Premier League, why can't, like, Luton, why can't Notts be sustainable in the Premier League? You know what I mean? Because they proved if you recruit the right players and you're staying in that wage structure and everything else.
Yeah.
Is it really about ambition, or is it just about having the right set of players to get you there in the first place?
I think it's probably a mix of both, because when our owners took over, so when we got relegated from League Two, had minus 30 points. I don't know if you remember that. It was 2009.
Yeah.
We won the Johnson's Paint Trophy, which was what it was called at that point. The owners came in and they had ambition to get to the Premier League, and they still have ambitions to be a Premier League team. I suppose money has a huge factor in it. I think if you haven't got the funds behind you to recruit those players that are going to get you out that league, it's difficult, because you're sort of almost fighting against a brick wall. You can't go any higher.
Yeah.
But then again, it doesn't always necessarily matter, because again, you look at Lincoln. Sorry to bring Lincoln up again, but you look at Lincoln. They had the 16th highest budget, or lowest budget, however you want to call it, last season. But they recruited well for this division. So it necessarily isn't always about money, but it certainly helps.
It's like Bromley in League Two last season. They had one of the lowest budgets in League Two, and they ended up winning the league.
Won the league. Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't say. I think Notts was like a top 10 budget.
I think
around
again the
about that.
manager massively helps as well. I think with Andy
Yeah.
Woodman, I think he's a very good manager.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think Bromley are going to surprise a few people this season as well. Obviously beating Barnsley last week. But
It's
I think,
interesting their recruitment structure as well, because they like to employ or recruit players who want to be closer back to home as well. So if you've got a player
Yes.
who's been playing up north, but he's from down south, down from London way,
mm,
and then they'll try and get them players to come back, as though they
Yeah.
are closer to family. So that also helps. If a player's happy and they're not having to travel like miles or they've got family elsewhere, that also helps on how a player performs on the pitch as well.
yeah. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I don't disagree. And I think Bromley have recruited well this year. I think with them never playing League One football, they could have just gone. Andy Woodman could have just gone and thought, you know what, we're just going to do a massive revamp of their squad. But what they've done is
Yeah.
they've recruited positions they actually need to improve on. And obviously, I think they were lucky's probably harsh, but I think they were probably lucky to pick up the 3 points against Barnsley at the weekend. Because Barnsley, I think, had about almost 415 shots. Obviously, that's a bit of an over-exaggeration,
Yeah.
but they had a lot of
Yeah.
shots, a lot of the ball. So I think Bromley, I watched a couple of Bromley's games last season. Again, they're very direct, like Stevenage,
They
like
are.
Lincoln.
Yeah.
So again, I think in League One, that sort of style works.
Yeah. So, you done the score prediction?
I have. So my score prediction is either going to be 2-0 to Luton, or it's going to be 1-0.
Right.
So I know I've given 2, but
Yeah.
I think it will be a comfortable 2-0, or it will be you'll go 1-0 up and we'll bring it back to 1-0.
Harry, yours?
I said 2-1, didn't I? Earlier on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going
2-1
either
Notts.
1-0, a 1-0 or 1-1. And finally, what do you make of Jack Wilshere's viral halftime clip?
I think incredible. I think fair play to him. It shows that he cares. Obviously, he was at Luton when he was a youngster. He's originally from Stevenage, I actually think, or Hitchin. Hitchin it is. But it just shows that he cares about the club and he wants to be successful and he has a way. I think it also helps him having Chris Powell as well. I think Chris Powell's huge because again in the managerial game he's quite still new to it. So to have Chris Powell, who's very very experienced, helps. But yeah, it showed passion, and I think that's what we've missed for the last few years. So under Rob Edwards, under Matt Bloomfield, they were sort of almost too passive. And I think it was one of those where you wouldn't have got that sort of team talk. Because I feel like under Rob Edwards and Matt Bloomfield, we would have lost that game against Reading and would have probably lost 5-6-1.
Yeah.
But that halftime team talk where, and I think sometimes you need that. I think you do need a rollicking where you need to sort it out. You need to sort it out, and that's what we needed because we gave Reading 3 goals on Saturday, and people not looking in will see Jack Merritt scored a hat-trick, but in actual fact, we just gave them the goal. So I saw a tweet that made me laugh. There were 7 goals on Saturday, and Luton directly had a hand in all 7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I took from that clip, though? When you look at, say, like Salford with Carl Robinson last year, all the screaming, the shouting, the swearing, how respectful Jack Wilshere and Chris Powell is in it as well. How respectful that was, how calm it was. It weren't shouting, it weren't.
Yeah.
There was no swearing in it. It was so calm and it was so nice to watch.
Yeah, I think that again, I'm not a manager, so I wouldn't know how to. But I think there's a way of doing it. Like you said, I think if Jack Wilshere had come in, started effing and blinding, calling them all whatever, every name under the sun, that's not going to help. You need to be sort of motivating the team to actually turn it around. And I think he believes in the players. and you could see that the way that he was coming across in that clip, that he believes in the players, and even 3-1 down, he believed that we could turn it around. And well, the proof is in the pudding. We did. And what he said was right. He said if we score, we will score in 10 minutes and we'll kill them, and we absolutely did. Yes, it took 96 minutes to get the winner, but the way we played within that sort of 10 minutes after half time, we absolutely battered them.
What does Ryan think we have to watch out for on Saturday?
Casey Palmer, I think he's our vocal point. Everything literally goes through him. As I said earlier, I think he's probably he is the best player in the league and could certainly be playing higher. Liam Walsh, I think the way that he plays. Jordan Clark, again, he makes very clever runs into the box. Was our top scorer last year with 12. Jake Richards, 19-year-old, very mature for his age. Callum Marshall as well. I think he came on for the last 15 minutes Saturday. I don't know whether he will start, but he looked pretty good. So whether he will start on Saturday, I don't know. But I think, obviously, Emilio Lawrence as well. I think he's a quality player.
Yeah.
We signed him on the Thursday, and Jack Wilshere threw him straight in. So I think he wasn't really up to what he can be. But I think sort of midfield going forward, that front 6 positions, I think it's every single player there is to watch out for. I think we've got a very well-rounded squad.
And Freddie says, Ryan, do you think we'll get playoffs, Ryan?
I will have to answer it after Saturday, if I'm being honest. I've not seen enough of you this year. I think I predicted you to I think come 21st or 22nd, which might be naive. So obviously I'm going on Saturday. So I'll have to see what you like in the flesh to answer that question properly, because now I haven't seen enough of you to answer that question. However, there are some very, very good teams in this league. And I'm not trying to be Switzerland here and sit on the fence and say no or yes, but there are some very good teams and some massive teams. Huddersfield, Plymouth, Leicester, Sheffield Wednesday, Barnsley. There's so many huge teams in the league, so it's difficult to say. But if you're probing me for an answer, I'm going to say no at this point in time. But I'll have more of an idea and a clearer judgment depending on how many beers I have on Saturday.
Yeah. Right, that's about it. Thanks for joining, Ryan.
No worries, mate. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. And also, good luck, but apart from Saturday.
Cheers, mate. Yeah. Thank you. And you.
All right. So, Eric, early morning. You're going on car, aren't you, this weekend?
Yeah, I think probably even about 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock. Train again. The train again. I wonder how many times it will get delayed. I think what's going to be interesting is how we set up. That's going to be the most interesting part, how we set up on Saturday.
Yeah, definitely.
And it will say, like, obviously, Ryan said, Luton are set up with a low block. Patterson's going to know that they can't cope with a low block.
Yeah.
So if we do that, which I could see us doing, I've been seeing the highlights of Reading, Luton. What does Ryan think Luton will print for its strength is? I think it's his quality of them, the players he. Unless Harry, because I was been on his podcast.
It's like watching that game. It's like they did kind of Reading score those 3 goals in a way. It's like I think they had more of the shots, more of the possession of the ball, but it's like defensively they did put a counter attack which obviously did work. I think it was their first goal I believe, where they were trying to pass it round and he took it off and just hit it in the back of the net. So it's like, if we do pressure their defence like we did Leicester, maybe it'll put pressure on them. Maybe they will. Obviously, what after that way across, well, maybe that will happen again, but who knows? But I just think we go out there the first 5 or 10 minutes straight off that foot, like we did against Leicester, like we did against Burnley. Try to get that goal, and then defend when we can. Defend, not go off it. Attack when we need to. Defend when we need to, and hopefully it's a positive result again.
I think not. If we do that, and we like press them, and then we have the quality, and we make the right decisions at them times, we can score quite a few goals. If you get what I'm saying, like when Ness ran in.
Oh yes, definitely. In the second half,
and he
ran
took
in.
that shot. Cut that ball out. Had a shot.
He did go wide, but I think if he would have took a touch, maybe it clicked on him. Maybe,
yeah.
but he did. Yeah, I think it felt like he kind of rushed in a way. I mean, you would rush in a way, really, if you're not a natural striker, wouldn't you? If you're like a defender, midfielder, or such.
Yeah.
You're thinking when you get the ball, you're that far up the pitch. You're thinking, oh no, what do I do? What do I do next?
We still think Leicester cycle runners up Wednesday. Luton maybe playoffs as mid-table. Respect that. You know what's up with your headphones? You need to charge them.
Well, yeah, probably
that is what is up with your headphones, because you're using the mic on them and they need charging. I worked it out.
Yeah.
What do you think about Grant? He looks good this season. I think he looks better this season, Grant does. The way he took that goal, the way he let it roll across him as well and took the shot. I think Maz looks different this season. But I'm impressed with like most of the signings we brought in. I think like Cooper's a good signing. I think Evans, Gibbons, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Harry, your headphones again. That's it. Right, we'll be back. Are we doing a Sunday one this week? Because we didn't do one on the Sunday, did we?
No, we didn't.
No, we'll probably be back Sunday evening, won't it? Every Sunday evening.
Yeah, more than likely.
So if you go to the game on Saturday, enjoy it. Like, as hopefully not so win. And we're coming back to Nottingham. All happy. Making the Hatters sad, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, make the Hatters sad. Have a good one. I can't wait. I think it's going to be a really strong big test as well. That is rude. Not even going to announce that. Is Morton been relegated yet to the, what is it, Ismail, whatever league it is?
Northern Premier League or whatever it's called.
Yeah. I just hope it's a really good game. It's a big test. And yeah, come on, you boys.
Come on, you boys.